Jana Duggar's life-altering yes, a private plea from her husband that changed everything. Hi, I'm Ava. Welcome to World Gossip 24, your go-to spot for the latest Duggar family news and everything in between. Don't forget to subscribe. What if the quietest Duggar just made the loudest move of her life without shouting a word? For years, she was the family's mystery, the one who never settled, never spoke out, and never seemed to need the spotlight. But now, after one deeply personal request from her husband, Jana Duggar has stepped into a role no one could have predicted. And what happened next isn't just surprising. It's a complete rewrite of everything we thought we knew. This is more than a love story. It's a transformation, a breaking of silence, a choice to live boldly, gently, and on her own terms. Stay with us, because once you hear what Jana revealed, you'll never see her the same way again. Jana Duggar had always been known for her quiet strength, a steady, calming presence in a world that rarely paused for her voice. For years, her story was largely written by others, by the media, by family expectations, and by the assumptions of a curious public. But what recently unfolded in her life could not have been predicted, even by those who thought they knew her best. It all began with a simple request from her husband, Stephen Wissmann, a request she couldn't say no to. What followed next stunned not just those around her, but Jana herself. When Jana reconnected with Stephen, the bond they rebuilt was based on more than affection. It was grounded in reflection, in shared values, and in a deep desire to approach love and life with intentionality. Their decision to reunite wasn't about patching up the past, but about reimagining the future. And one evening, in the quiet space of their home, Stephen made a heartfelt appeal. He asked Jana to share their story. Not just the pregnancy news or their rekindled relationship, but the deeper layers, the choices, the struggles, and the slow unfolding of hope. Jana hesitated. For a woman who had kept her personal life guarded for so long, the idea of opening up felt like standing on the edge of a cliff. Yet, as she looked at Stephen and the new life they were preparing to welcome, she realized something profound. Silence was no longer strength. It was time for her to step forward. What shocked many wasn't just that Jana spoke, but how she spoke. Her voice was confident, composed, and full of emotional depth. She revealed that she and Stephen had quietly reconnected months ago, away from the scrutiny of cameras and speculation. They took their time. They talked, not about obligations or roles, but about healing, about purpose, and about what kind of family they wanted to build. It was during these long, reflective conversations that the foundation for their renewed bond took shape. Stephen's request had not been for publicity or performance. He had asked Jana to tell the truth for herself and for anyone who had ever felt trapped by expectations, and that's exactly what she did. She spoke openly about how they reapproached their relationship from a place of vulnerability. In the past, their courtship had been influenced by voices outside their own, family traditions, public opinion, and the pressure to fit a certain mold. But this time, they blocked out the noise. They listened to each other. They asked the hard questions. What do we really want? What are we afraid of? Are we willing to grow together? Jana shared that saying yes to Stephen's request wasn't just about honoring his trust. It was about honoring her own journey. For so long, she had been perceived as the dutiful daughter, the silent sibling, the one who watched others move forward while she stood still. But in truth, she hadn't been waiting in vain. She had been learning, observing, becoming. The pregnancy, which she described as unexpected but deeply cherished, was not the catalyst for their reunion, but rather a gift that affirmed their path. She explained that becoming a mother has already begun to change her, not in the way people expect, but in a deeper, more internal way. She is learning to prioritize herself, to protect her peace, and to create a space where her voice and her child's future can flourish. She noted how Stephen has supported her through each step, from attending prenatal appointments to helping her reorganize her home for the arrival of the baby. He's shown up not with grand gestures, but with consistency. That, she said, has meant more than anything. It's not about proving something, she explained. It's about building something, quietly, steadily. Jana also addressed the reaction of her family with a kind of mature grace that only someone who has lived both inside and outside of their shadow could muster. Her parents, she confirmed, were surprised, but not unsupportive. She didn't go into detail about who said what or how each sibling responded. Instead, she focused on what matters most, choosing to embrace the kindness and letting go of the rest. One particularly moving moment was when Jana spoke about her fears. Not the fear of motherhood itself, but the fear of not being allowed to experience it on her own terms. There's always been this unspoken rule that certain stories can only be told a certain way, she said. But I don't want to live in someone else's narrative anymore. This line resonated deeply, not just with fans, but with many women who have long followed her story. For years, Jana was seen as the enigma of the Duggar family, the one who hadn't married, hadn't conformed, hadn't explained. Her life was often used as a blank slate for other people's theories. But now, she's showing that behind the mystery was never uncertainty, only the determination to wait for what felt right. Stephen's presence in her life today is not about saving her or completing her. As Jana put it, he doesn't try to fix me, he sees me. That kind of mutual recognition has formed the basis for how they are preparing to welcome their child. They are reading books together, taking long walks, having conversations about how they want to parent, not based on tradition or reaction, but intention. As the news spread, the media rushed to cover the basic facts. Jana is pregnant. Jana is back with Stephen. But what most headlines missed was the emotional core of this story. This is not a story of surprise, but of sovereignty. Jana's journey reflects the powerful evolution, from being the one who helped raise her siblings to now preparing to raise her own child. She is no longer just participating in a family legacy, she is crafting her own. She isn't trying to erase her past, nor is she trying to replicate it. Instead, she's using what she's learned, the good and the painful, as the soil for something new. What began with a request from her husband to be vulnerable, to be seen, has led to a moment that feels not just monumental, but sacred. She's not performing for approval. She's not packaging her life into a neat, Instagrammable storyline. She is, quite simply, living. And in choosing to live authentically, she is also giving others permission to do the same. For those who have followed Jana Duggar's life, this moment may feel overdue. But for Jana, it's right on time. Her story is unfolding with the same grace that has always defined her, but now it's on her terms. And while the details of her journey will continue to evolve, one thing is clear: she has stepped out of the background, not for applause, but for truth. This isn't just a pregnancy update or a relationship status change. It's a quiet revolution. And in the most unexpected way, it began with one simple yes, to her husband, to her child, and most importantly, to herself. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and stay tuned for the next video. Take care and love to you all.